Hey guys, Ponce here, and in this video I'll just be talking to you guys about some very tentative changes to the jungler items. Sort of nerfs, buffs, whatnot, depending on how you want to look at it. All the jungler items have been changed at least slightly. And keep in mind, this is the public test round, so none of this might go live or might go live in an altered form, who knows. They're sort of experimenting with the early Season 4 changes. This is what the preseason is for, and more so what the public test round was for. But I'm going to explain to you what's kind of planned right now for the time being. Right now, Hunter's Machete's got a very small buff. You now heal 5 health on hit as opposed to 3, which it was before, if I recall correctly. That buff has been passed on to Madrid's Razor, so that also heals 5. And the Wriggles received a slight buff in the sense that it costs less now. So the combined cost is 150 as opposed to 300, and the total cost is now 1650, down from 1800. So they're making it cheaper, which is good, because it was kind of a crappy item to get compared to the other things you could get in the jungle for the most part. I mean, there were certain scenarios where it might work, but it was pretty niche. Aside from that, what might make Rivals a bit more attractive is they're kind of changing how all these other Spirit Stone items work. So Spirit Stone has had the regen removed from it, both health and mana, and now has this unique property of restores 12% of damage dealt to monsters as health and 6% as mana. One-third effect for area of effect spells. So basically you sustain, and since they specifically say monsters, I'm pretty sure that doesn't work against lane minions. So basically, yeah, the only way to sustain yourself is actually fighting monsters as opposed to, running around between camps and ganking and stuff. So that's interesting. As a result, basically that has replaced the regen on all 3 of the items, and yeah, replaced it with that effect that I just mentioned, the 12% thing. This is interesting too because on Spirit Wraith, that changes things the most because it got rid of that whole, like the 8%, whatever it was. It was the weaker version of this. Basically, this has a stronger version of what the old thing was for Spectral Wraith. And with all items now, the various items had different passive gold generation types. Now they all share the old Spirit Golem version, where it's killing a larger epic monster grants up to 40 gold based on the last time you actually killed something. So remember that thing that would stack up, and then you go fight someone, or you try and gank someone. In the meantime, that whole gold counter would stack up. I don't think they've
One
changed that. It
step
stacks
ahead
up
of
to
the
80. It still
past.
should stack up to 80. But basically, all items now have that. Now that's actually quite an interesting change because that's primarily going to affect Spirit Lizard because, well, that had the old thing where you gain gold from like kills and assists. That like really started to rack up late game because you're always once the team fight phase started, you're always involved in at least a couple assists. So you suddenly get this gold coming in, and this item would really take off. So that's interesting. Although it's not bad because I mean the conservation bonus isn't bad either because I really like that one. You could really stack up a lot of gold early game if you mix ganking and farming. So I'm guessing what they're doing is trying to push the pure farming item more so towards this thing here, the Wriggles. So interesting bit of change there. Like I said, who knows if that's actually going to go live. I suspect it might in some form or another. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll see you guys around. Hope you found this informative. And yeah, goodbye.